Hi, come on into my studio. I'm Holly Markhoff. This is where I do most of my work. It's a studio down in the Museum District of Richmond, Virginia. And I have a wonderful view of the city activities. Keeps me energized and motivated. I'll just start over here to show you a bit of my work, maybe you're familiar with. I have a very glazed process. I build up my pieces through layers and layers of a glaze, which almost makes things glass-like. I use metallics, sometimes bright colors, sometimes very neutral colors. This piece is actually the prototype for a larger painting that is currently at the Chasen galleries in Sarasota, Florida, called Tranquil Moon. And this was a smaller version of that painting. My concept is always trying to create a piece that when somebody looks at it, they find a connection, they find an uplifting concept, and a feeling of joy. This painting is in process, and you can see in this painting the amount of texture that I use. I build up paint sometimes almost like a sculpture, and I bring out, you can see the floral, I'll scrape into it, and sometimes I'll embellish. Some of my paintings will have embellishment of materials and paper. Some will be all different types of paints. I typically work on maybe 5 or 6 paintings at a time because the drying takes so long in between each layer that I will go around from table to table and work on different pieces. Oftentimes when I finish a layer of color on the painting, I will go over it with a high gloss varnish to seal it, and then I just keep building up, so I have a lot of fun with it. I use sometimes metallic gold leaf, sometimes liquid metallic paints, and a variety of mixed media. I use enamel paint or acrylic paint, pretty much everything. If I use oil though, of course it's on the top layer, so I use that the least because I never know how much more I'm gonna wanna add until it's done. As you can see, I have a little bit of everything in my studio, my frames and my canvas. And over here are some other pieces I'm working on. Some ladies that are out in the forest having a dance, and a Mediterranean-inspired landscape. Another piece over here with ladies dancing for an upcoming exhibit in May. And I also do quite a bit of contemporaries and abstract pieces. This is going to be a very neutral toned abstract piece with highlights of gold, and what you can't see yet, it will have taupes and a little bit of, I like to call them flamingo pinks bursting through. Let me show you how I do my painting. Here as you can see, I was definitely in process when you all came to visit, and I have my paints open and just ready to go. I use quite a bit of the Matisse paint, which I love. I should be their spokesperson. But I even use semi-gloss enamel house paints. When I paint, I do tend to wear gloves. The odd thing is, and I cannot tell you why, I sometimes only put on one glove. So my poor rings have gone through the ringer. I'll have one pen with a lot of paint and one with not so much. Sometimes I will put another glove on. But come on a little closer. Let me show you a little bit about what I do. This is just a fun, small piece that's just coming together. These women are going to be in a chorus line. They're all going to have, actually, they're not going to fully be smiling. They're going to have their mouths pursed to be singing with a little bit of a smile. And I have built this up with layer upon layer to get to this point of texture, almost like a sculpture. And what I'll do is I'll separate them out a little bit more. This composition has come a little bit in because they're singing together, which is wonderful, but now I need to bring a little more energy and balance to the outer ends of the canvas. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do with that yet. I may just pull out some branches and get our eye to go a little bit out this way. But when this is done, we are going to have 4 fun, happy ladies singing a song. And I do try to make my ladies different ages, some different ethnicities. I end up somehow with oftentimes very tall and skinny ladies, and I'm working on lots of different body types as well. Some of my ladies are stretched so tall that in real life they would probably be about 7 feet tall. So I'm working on bringing that, but I like that look. I think it's so fun. And let's see, sometimes I'll make them a bit more realistic in the face, sometimes a bit more just expressive. And different paintings need different things. A painting like this, which is very flowy, if I couldn't make it too realistic or it wouldn't fit the style. So I have to find the balance, and sometimes I'll have to redo a face to either make it a little bit more realistic or a little bit less. And let's see if we can get this here for the, and we'll just add a little nose here, and we'll add a little more detail later, see how that's doing. And these ladies are just enjoying each other. They're going to have a nice song. We'll put some, and I'll come back in with a little different color and a little bit different expression. It's amazing what you'll find, and you'll notice this in paintings, how much the shape of the eyes can change the whole mood of a painting. These ladies are singing. Their eyes are semi-closed. They're in harmony together. So this will have to be, I've used the title symphonic in a few pieces, and I could see that going into this one. Symphonic quartet, or maybe, I don't know. We'll have to think. If you see it somewhere, we'll see if I've kept that name or not. If you see it at one of the Chasen galleries soon, I should usually use a rag for that instead of my fingers. You see why I have paint on my hands. All right, and then I'm gonna come back in with some mouths. And we'll add a little more to the eyes, but for right now, I think we'll just leave them. See what kind of personality they're having. The secret of my glaze. Some people ask how I get that built up glass-like translucence in my work. And I actually build it up layer upon layer upon layer. So as I do a layer of color, I'll put in a layer of glaze. Let that dry. And again, that's why I have so many paintings going on at one time, because I'm walking around the room, and while one is drying, I'll go to the next and go to the next. This is my secret product. I'm going to share it with you guys. I use, well, what I've been using lately anyway, is just a Liquitex High Gloss Varnish, and I'll show you what I do. I put on the glove, and just stick it in here, and I just pour some on. This still has a little bit of dampness. Usually I wait for it to dry a bit more, but I think it's going to work. And we just spread it around. And I love branching out and trying new things. My next experiment is going to be working with some resin, but that's going to take a little addition to my setup, because that's as messy as I am. I think that's even messier. So I thank you guys for coming in. This painting is going to dry. I'm going to add those singing mouths, and hopefully you'll see it on the website soon. So have a great day. Thanks for joining me.